one sea, one time, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time for the stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. With one hurts, with one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world for all the night. So why is a war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time for the stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. With one hurt, with one need, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. Alright, make peace, peace together. Peace.
Thank you guys for joining me on Shadow Chasing Show. I'm a little late as always, but I was not at home. I was actually on the road and trying to get back, and traffic was nuts. I mean, literally traffic. Let's put it this way. The city itself is pretty busy getting ready to actually create 15-minute cities. So they have been working on the roads, every location here in the Surrey region here in British Columbia in Canada. And the reason why they're doing this is because I guess they want to see if they can practice on us just as much as they did in the UK. And also other parts of the world have been trying to do the 15-minute cities. Now, Surrey actually is in order. on their website that they're going to do a 50-minute city. So basically, they're going to try to create districts, and they're creating districts as we speak. We have been losing lots of I guess you'd say homes, smaller homes, modular home parks. They've been actually been closed down or shut down, and they're forcing people to sell their property or sell their modular home as quickly as possible so they can actually build on the areas. And like, I've never seen the city go so crazy by having to work on every block, every street, changing the lights, the standards, the pavement. I mean, everything's all in alignment of control. Okay, basically, they're going to make it where they want to control the vehicular trafficking, and that is going to be relating to making sure that the city is going to try to make sure that no fuel run vehicles will actually drive on the roads. So anybody that actually has electric stations to go to, they're allowing them to drive, but they're not going to allow the gas powered vehicles to be on the road. And I tell people, please do not allow your government to tell you what to do. You drive your vehicle. That is your right. Your right to drive it. And if a police officer pulls you over and tells you can't drive the vehicle on the road, he or she has no right to tell you that you can't drive your vehicle on the road, because it's your traveling location of vehicle. Okay. It's your travel. You go from place to place to place. It is your right. They can't tell you where to go. Okay. But they're going to see if they can stop you from traveling. And they'll say, well, you're causing the carbon problem. Guess what? We're not causing the carbon problem. Okay. And cows have nothing to do with it. Look what's happening all across the world. Okay. Everything is, there's so many tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, fire everywhere. Who's causing it? Not us. The Mother Earth is shifting. Okay. She's going through the transition. This is the time. This is why I'm bringing this up. Okay. It's the time now. We're going through the shift. Funny thing how Bill Gates decided to tell everybody, Dr. Fauci tried to tell everybody, oh, well, you know what, you people, that you're breathing, your cows are farting, and we need to stop. We need to butt plug those people and butt plug you. No. We need to cut off all those trees. We need to cover all the sun so you can't see the sun because the sun's causing the problem. No, it's not causing the problem. They want to make sure that you are contained in a little tiny room, okay, that you won't leave your house. But they also, once you got you in the house, then they're going to try and control your food, okay, what you're allowed to eat, what not allowed to eat, what you're allowed to have, what you're allowed to watch on TV, what you're allowed to have in anywhere else, okay? This is exactly what's going on. You're in Vancouver, Travis. Nice to know that you're there. I'm up in Surrey. Yeah, Travis said, everywhere I go, all I see is pride flags. I know. And there shouldn't be. Pride flags are not the national flags. Okay? They're not. And yet they're making them where they're priority over a Canadian flag. That is wrong. It's illegal, apparently. It's a federal illegal law. And yet our PM is not doing anything about it because he wants to transition the flag into the rainbow flag and put a leaf on it and saying this is going to be our new flag. You can't do that. It has to be voted in, and no one wants to vote it in. It's not a national flag. It's just an identity of whoever you are. Nothing more. Okay? Yes. In fact, look at the one that we have, Travis. Okay? We have a peacekeeper's flag. Okay? Native peacekeeper's flag with the medicine pipe with the Canadian flag on it. We have the same thing with the American flag. We should have that. Why not? You know, that's much better than having to use the pride. Who comes first? You guys. Definitely. There should be a person with a peacekeeping flag or peacekeeping pipe. The person's holding the medicine pipe. That means it's peacekeepers. We are peacekeepers. Okay? That's what should be there. But again, you're going to have that derogatory disbelief, and they're going to say, "Oh, we're against you." Now, if you guys notice what's happening right now, the people that are actually involved with the pride flag are actually having a fight with the Palestinian people. The two combine on the same street. Now they're hating each other. It's a battle between each other right now. Like boom, boom, boom. Like, we hate you. Ah. Have you seen that one? I couldn't believe every video everywhere across the world. Now the pride people hate the Palestinian. Like, I'm telling you, it's going to get nutser, crazier, stupider. And we're standing back going like, told you. It's not, we're sitting there watching them make themselves foolish. That's all I can say. But anyways, when I get back to the climate, okay, everyone's talking about the climate change, the climate this, the climate that. Well, number one, climate change or climate changing has been happening from every generation. From generation. My mother told me one time, she said that as we get older, we're all going to go through the phase of the weather. And you'll always have either a hurricane, volcanic. You'll also have tornadoes, whatever you are living in, anywhere across the world. Mother Earth is shifting herself constantly, that we have to adjust to it. If we're not supposed to be in one location where the tornadoes always appear, then don't live there. If we're going to have flash floods in some other areas, then don't live there. We actually, in Alberta, you have a low plain area where they actually have floods all the time. And yet that town insists on being there in Alberta. And I'm sure you know that town, Travis. There are other areas that insist on having low valleyed areas. And we have, for example, here in BC, we got Abbotsford and Chilliwack. They're low valleyed areas. That actually was once a large lake, but the city decided to drain it and make a dam. And what happened a couple of years ago? Boom, something broke. You got a flood. Whose fault is it? It's not the fault of the farmer. It's a fault of the government having to be greedy about the water. If they left that lake alone, everything would have been fine. Yes, you're right, Michelle. Is actually out doing nothing but a money grab. Maybe they'd stop with the harp crap. You know, harp is part of it, not all of it. What they're doing right now, most of it is all to do with cloud seeding. That's been going on for such a long time. But Mother Earth right now, she's just saying, screw this. We're going after all these locations. I mean, look at Las Vegas. Las Vegas majorly flooded. Okay. We got floods in China. We got floods in Japan. Major flood in Saudi Arabia. We got floods everywhere. Mostly. And now we have a flood in the Squamish region, way, way far up. Oh my God, there's so many areas that there's floods. People have lost, even the land is cracked wide open and they can't cross over. And they're going like, oh no, now I can't go home because that line opened up. Gee, it was supposed to have happened. Okay. She's moving and it was supposed to move. I would say back in the mid 90s, when I was listening to Art Bell, Coast to Coast AM, there was a person calling in that actually did remote viewing of the future and made the statement. I'm going to find that audio and I'm going to bring it up. Even Art Bell even talked about this. He actually interviewed the person. This is back in the 90s. And that person said that in the United States, Canada, all the part of North America, across the world, the lands are going to separate some areas to the point they're not going to be part of the U.S. anymore. Like it's going to be more into islands. What's happening, folks? It's starting now. We're going into islands. We're going into different areas. Okay, think about it. We've been going through this for a long, long time. Okay. So, yeah, well, you know, Ernie, your daughter, actually, Teresa is going to find out. It's flooded right there, and right now is Vegas. It's major flood in the area, And so, and to also look at, yeah, Michelle, yes, Chilcolton here in British Columbia, major flood. Gee, I wonder why it flooded. Because the mountains are shifting. Has nothing to do with climate change. We're not responsible for causing this. It has nothing to do with driving a car. Your fossil fuel is not called fossil fuel. It's gasoline. It comes from the ground, comes from Mother Earth. It's part of Mother Earth's blood, just like the oil. It's natural. And yet, society, rich people wanted to control it and make money off of it and say that you can't have it because we dug it up and you got to pay for it. And yet it's under your feet. Every country across the world has oil under their feet. In Canada, we're not even allowed to own any land under past the 12 inches of property. You got 12 inches down from the top to the 12 inches. The rest is you can own that land, but anything below that, it's not yours. It belongs to the government. Why? Because Canada got smarter than the United States. In the United States, theirs is once you live on the land, all that below you is yours. So Canada came on board after when they started doing the oil pleasure of making lots of money. Okay, so Canada said, no. The Queen goes, no. We're going to own what's 12 inches under. That's ours. We're going to take that all from you. You can't have this, but we'll lease it to you. Okay, or we'll give you some money to rent that spot. It's called leasing, but you can't own it. And yet it's on your land. But that's why they call it crown land, because the government owns your land. They own your ass. Okay, or so they think they do. So no more crown land. It's going to be gone. Crown land is going to be fixed to the point where we will have full control of our own land, and that's going to be coming up real soon. Now, last week, let's talk about last week. We talked about the Lionsgate portal, and that was between the other month of August to the 12th, 8th to the 12th, which is an 888. Okay. And that's all based on manifesting income. Your income is going to come at such great proportions. I will be honest with you guys. My money came in double proportion this past week. I couldn't believe it when I was doing one day of a show, doing an event in Vancouver. I've never experienced, I made double the money I made last year. Because I said in a prayer that I see it coming and I welcome it. I welcome my income to be greater than it was the year before, and it came. It happened. So I will. Prayers do work, folks. And it's not just that, but it's just the intention of your energy. That's why the earth is shifted so much. And my wife and I, after we finished taking down we're sitting down at the event. We were in Trout Lake Park, and it's a beautiful area in the central part of Vancouver. And if any of you know where Trout Lake Park is, like there's a lake there, but it's not really clean. It used to be somebody many years ago poisoned the water on purpose to get animals and people sick. They did it purposely. They got caught. But in the meantime, the water gets spoiled, and it's not knowing actually can swim in it anymore, which is cruel. But that's what they did. Whoever these people are were idiots. But anyways, being at the park at this event, there was a lot of people, hundreds of people showed up. We had a great time. Loved being there. It was the best time of my life. It was not indigenous. It was actually what it was like a goddess festival. Some people call it a pagan festival. But I was there to represent family background, my history, not just indigenous, but also non-indigenous family background. I just loved being there. The people were just fantastic. I just loved being, and the energy was like way up high. Like I was like, wow, crystals, healing tools. There were healers. There was all varieties of people there that just welcomed others. It was just high energy, absolute high energy. I also want to give thanks to Phoenix Metaphysical Emporium for welcoming us there. And if it wasn't for Goldie and her staff and people who volunteered, we wouldn't have been doing this. So I want to thank them for making it happen every year. It's important that we all become very successful in this. And we also had a wonderful elder that they called upon, and First Nations elder came down and he blessed the event. And it was fantastic. I mean, it was huge circles of people. It was a great time, absolutely great time. And like I said before, it was busy. Now, what I want to bring up is, like I said before, the Lions Gate portal. Okay. Now, I want to say it correctly. Actually, the wind is catching my breath. You got that fan on, but catching my breath, and I can't say anything. The Lionsgate portal. Now, what it is, like I said before, it's an energy that the Earth is shifting, going through the transition shift. Now, why I'm bringing this up, because remember I said before last week on the program, they got Earth here and Earth here. And what was happening is that we shimmied from like this into another part. So part of our past, everything that we dealt with in the past is history now. Anything that once happened there that was so negative or so down, so like just dark, that was like that for centuries and generations, that's gone. Anything that we used to hang on to is not important anymore. You don't have to hang on to the past. Everything in the past that we felt was like just depressing, or just like you just don't, like you're having a hard time dealing with it, they're showing you how to move ahead. So what Mother Earth has done, and it actually this has happened before, and I'll tell you why. So here, Mother Earth is like here and here, and this is the new Earth that actually began, and it came like this, and then it became now. We are here. We're not here anymore. We're not in this one. We're in the new one. Okay, we've already arrived, and I'll tell you why. Because when I was, when my wife and I were sitting in our chairs, and I said to my wife, "Are you feeling a buzzing feeling like all over?" And she goes, "Yeah." Like I could feel like it felt like it was like this, like that sound, but it was like our whole body was buzzing. Like I was buzzing, like as if we were vibrating. And she says, "I don't know what's going on. I've never felt it before. Like I'm vibrating. Wow." And like we were going through that feeling, like through the whole body. Now, I want to ask all you guys out there, folks out there, on a Saturday, okay, last Saturday, did you actually feel any type of energy, buzzing feeling in your body at that time? Okay, this past Saturday. Okay, this is during the Lionsgate portal transition. This is the beginning of all things. We start buzzing. Okay, and those of you actually are psychically sensitive or just energy sensitive, you're going to feel it. Those are actually beginning to feel the senses, the energies. And I'll tell you this right now, that day, I've never seen so many new people come into my tent and said to me, "I can't believe the energy in here is so high. I've never experienced this like this quite like before." Now, not just mine, but others had the same similar type of energy in their tents. But they said mine was so intense that they said they felt there's something there that they're being called to see, touch. They didn't know what it was, but they had to be there. I said, "Great." But they were making me think as if it's the first time for me. No, it's not. I'm used to doing this. I'm used to watching people go through the experience. Doesn't make me better than them. I'm just basically showing them you are able to do. I kept telling people, you already have the ability to do this. You just didn't really recognize it because you were just too busy with your life. And now that you decide to settle your mind and allow yourself to feel and experience the shifting, change, and transition, you're going through it now. Everyone is now vibrating. Okay. I've never seen so many people that I've met are starting to vibrate. Now, I want to also acknowledge, thank you guys for joining me on the Facebook page and on the chat room, as well as the YouTube chat room that I'm on back and forth. You can always drop back and forth. Hi, guys. Nice to see all you guys in both chat rooms. So if any of the folks out there that have experienced any type of vibrational transition, or even day after, but let me know, because they say it's going to happen between the 8th and the 12th. Now, we've already passed that 12th. Now we got into the number 15, okay? So, or the day of 15 of August. And now we're going into the calendar shifting too, because they've got the one Gregorian calendar compared to the other calendar. It's still shifting forward. We're going to it. That's still, it's actually called bubbling in. We're actually still mixing in. Okay, we're still going through the mix. So it's not completely done. It's not finished completely. Now, we are going through it now into the parallel Earths on the Tartary map, which there's a fellow by the name of Fra, F-R-A, probably Friar or Fra Mauro. Okay, he's of Venetian, Italy, and he indicates the date in August the 26th in 1460 in the Zodiac at the time. It was Leo the Lion, the year 1460, 1460. And the Zodiac at the time was Leo the Lion. Now, we have now begun the Lionsgate portal for August the 8th to the 12th, 2024. Do you guys see the connection? Okay. The Lionsgate portal. Now, in August 26th, and I will say this right now, Fra Mauro was an Italian monk who resided on the Venetian Island of Murano, Italy. And he based his map mainly on other maps collected in the Venetian libraries, although he also had conversations with many experienced sailors, people from all across the ocean. But I'm going to show you guys the map in a few minutes. Look at his map is drawn comparing to the pictures of other world planet Earth dividing, starting a new beginning, rebirthing, and did the mud flood begin after his death? He called his work, here's something here, folks. He called his work, okay, CHOSMOGRAPHUS INCOMPARABILIS, CHOSMO, okay? So basically, CHOSMOGRAPHUS INCOMPARABILIS. Now, CHOSMOGRAPHUS, CHOSMO means space, and the dog star is also connected to the space. Now, did he get help from extraterrestrial beings, and what type of ships did he sail on? Because everyone thinks that it's just the ships on the ocean, but were there space ships, okay? Besides the ocean waters, why has NASA decided to use his name for the Apollo 14 in 1971? And there are more stories to this than we are led to believe, okay? And so basically I wanted to share this whole story with you regarding what he was all about, because he has, this man himself, he has something to do with all this as well, especially in 1490. Okay. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I can bring this up to play this on the screen. And you guys can see this on the screen here. And I'm going to share this with you here. So what I did, I looked up Wikipedia to see what it's all about. Okay. So Fra Mauro, OSB, okay, in 1460 to 1464, he was an Italian Venetian cartographer who had lived in the Republic of Venice. Venus and Venice, go figure, guys. Venice or Venus, they're both the same words. Think about it. He created most detailed and accurately map of the world up until this time. Now, Mauro was a monk, and they call it the Camdolese Monastery of St. Michael, located on the island of Murano in the Venetian Lagoon. It was there that he maintained a cartography workshop, and he also was employed by some powerful men like Prince Henry the Navigator. Think about this, guys. Okay. Prince Henry the Navigator. There's that word again. So Fra Mauro was born before or around the year 1400. In his youth, Mauro had traveled extensively as a merchant and a soldier. He was familiar with the Middle East, and he's recorded in the records of the monastery of St. Michael from 1409. As a lay member of the monastery, Mauro was employed as a map maker. Now, lay member means he was not fully a reverend minister. He was just getting into ministry. So, in the records of monastery, his main job was recorded as collecting the monastery's rents, but from the 1450s, he also mentioned as a creator of series of world maps. Now, the thing is that although he has no longer free to travel due to his religious status, but he would frequently consult with merchants of the city upon their return from overseas voyages. By the 1450, he composed a great Mappa Mundi, a world map, with surprising accuracy, including extensive written comments reflecting the geographic knowledge of this time. Now, the map is known today as the Fra Mauro map. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I did not understand what was so special about this Fra Mauro map. Like, I remember seeing maps. People load their maps. And I'm thinking to myself, a map's a map. But yet, this is one of the original people that actually had designed this map. And so he called it Mappa Mundi, was a major cartographical work that compiled much of the geographical knowledge of the time. The map covers over 5 square meters. The map is extremely detailed and contains many thousands of texts and illustrations. The world map took several years to complete, and there was the most detailed and accurate world map that had been produced up until that time. Now, Fra Mauro created the map under commission by the King Alfonso V of the Portugal. Now, that's where a lot of the kids later on through the years were able to see Christ's mother Mary make her appearance with 4 children. Okay, Portugal was important. Andrea Bianco, a sailor cartographer. Okay, Andrea Bianca. That's a woman, wouldn't that be? Is recorded as having collaborated with Fra Mauro in creating the map, as payments made to him between 1448 and 1459 testify. The map was completed on April the 24th, 1459, and sent to Portugal, but the copy did not survive. Gee, I wonder why. Why did the copy not survive? Along with the map was a letter from Doge of Venice. It was intended for Prince Henry the Navigator, Alfonso V's uncle, and it encouraged the prince to continue funding exploratory journeys. And Fra Mauro did the following year while he was making a copy of the map from the Signoria of Venice, and the copy was completed by Andrea Bianco, a commemorative medal of the period struck in the honor of his cartographic work. Describes Fra Mauro as a CHOSMOGRAPHUS INCOMPARABILIS. Now, I find this is very important for all of us to know this because it relates to what's happening now. Okay, so why hasn't anybody talked about this guy? Why didn't anybody? And this is, to me, it was accidental, because here I'm looking at, I was actually online. I could see this old map with the 2 Earths coming apart. And I thought, wait a minute here. I've got the very same picture, but I got a photograph. I mean, if I got a picture, a drawing, a photograph of 2 Earths coming apart. And I thought, no way. So what I did is I took the picture, the photograph of it, and I took a picture of the one that was drawn 1460, and I put them both together, and every part of the world, every part of the country was exactly the same how it was laid out. Now, how is it that he was able to draw the 2 worlds this way in 1460, and all of a sudden, I mean, not some, but someone decided to do the same type of thing, and yet they did not know anything about him. Okay, this is like called, this is really called really fantastic. Okay, so other work. 2 copies of maps by Fra Mauro are known to survive, and one is a portolan chart in the Vatican Library, of course, in the Vatican Library. Codice Boreano V, published by Roberto Almagia in 1944. The other was recognized as Antonio Ratti, as the copy signed by Giorgio Calipoda at Candia and dated 1541 of a lost chart by Fra Mauro, sold at auction in Milan in 1984 and now in private collection, probably in France. Now, why would it be in a private collection? Why is it so important that it had to be a private collection? Why shouldn't it be shared in public for everyone to see? Because they found something on his map that was removed. Okay, guys? Something on his map that was removed. Why? What's the outskirts of that on the map, folks? Okay. Columbus did not, by the way, Columbus never sailed the ocean blue. That is an absolute, he never sailed. Columbus never really did what he was supposed to do. He was never around much. He was a failure. They just made him look like a hero, but he wasn't. When I learned about this. So basically, this is where I find interesting. Now, there is a crater on the moon called the crater, called Fra Mauro, and associated with Fra Mauro formation of the moon are named after him. The Apollo 13 mission was intended to explore the Fra Mauro formation, but due to the explosion aboard the spacecraft, Apollo 13's crews had to return to Earth without landing on the moon, and the formation was instead explored by astronauts Alan Shepard and Edgar Mitchell and the Apollo 14 mission in February of 1971. Well, number one, we already know that that never happened. And why was there explosion? Because no one can actually make it to the moon. It wasn't meant to happen, not yet. So this man here was the one. This is Fra Mauro. This is him. This is the man. Here's one thing I want to say. I wouldn't put it past it that Fra Mauro actually had met up with some extraterrestrial friends. And also there's somehow a connection to him, because if you remember a man from Venus who actually met up with the presidents in the 1940s, who helped Donald Trump's uncle during that time of the transition. And also there was Nikola Tesla, who was also part of this whole, I guess, free energy work. There is a man who also is here that's part of the connection, because back in those years, certain people that are extraterrestrial beings had a different connection. Now, let's go to the crater. And Fra Mauro is worn remnant of a walled lunar plan. Now, it is part of the surrounding Fra Mauro formation, being located to the northeast of Mare Cognitum and southeast of Mare Insulatum. Attached to the south rim, the co-joined craters Bonpland and Perry, now which intrude into the formation, forming inward bulging walls to the crater, named after Italian geographer Fra Mauro. Now, basically, they're naming it after this. Okay, but what does it look like to you guys? What do you see in here? If you turn upside down, what do you see? Look at this. Upside down. Ta-da-da. There's the beak. There's the eyes. Upside down. There's the body. There's the talons. If you turn right side up, you see an owl. Okay. Why did they name it after him and there? Because something important is on this area of the moon. Somebody or some people were living on the moon, not humans. Other beings were living there. But again, look at this. The movement of the, looks like an owl. Again, not a bad thing, but I'm showing you upside down. There's the beak. There's the eyes. So there's a lot of things that most people may not realize that's important in this whole situation. So right in here, that's supposed to be where they're supposed to land. Look how large this is. Now they apparently took a picture of the moon from the space. Okay. So the thing is that there's why I'm bringing this up, because I find it very important that we've had extraterrestrial beings that were helping Fra Mauro. He didn't do this alone. When he says many people on ships helped him make this map, he said ships. He didn't say spaceships. He just said ships, because back in those years, the word space did not even exist. Okay. So they named it Luna, or a moon, and was a planetoid that was considered to be a moon of the planet Earth. And it was inhabited by over 50 million people. Inhabited by 50 million people? Now, wait a minute here. Now, are they saying that Earth is inhabited by 50 million people, or they say the moon was inhabited by 50 million people? Okay, think about that one. Too much human history, Luna was referred to simply as the moon. This largely seized area, or in the era of interstellar travel, though many natives still used the archaic name Valiant. Valiant. Gee, somebody became important in here, because the Valiant, what I would say, relates to Valiant Thor. Remember, don't forget, guys, Venus, Venice, they're both the same. Without the A, without the E, it's still the same. Venus, Venice. Valiant Thor is from Venus. And he helped, because Valiant Thor actually was there to help this man at the very beginning. He helped him to make this map, because the people from Venus were the ones that were helpful to get him to get the map known across the world. So look at this. Fra Mauro UFO. Look at this. Based on the provided information, there is no direct mention of a UFO unidentified final object. So the reason why, because why are they saying this? Because they don't want you to know the truth. Okay. There's no direct mention. The search results primarily focus on Fra Mauro as a lunar geographical feature, a crater, and a formation on the moon's surface. However, one snippet mentions the Apollo 14 mission, which landed on the Fra Mauro Highlands in 1971. While there is no UFO-related information, this mission's successful landing on the moon's surface is an important milestone in space exploration. Now, here's the thing, guys. 1971, Apollo 14 called it in to the station, okay, and said, we see UFOs are all around us as we're trying to enter the moon's region. But what did NASA do? They bleeped it out. Now, when I was watching this on TV back in 71, it was mentioned. Okay. But look at this. The search results do not provide any information on the UFO sighting or incident connected to Fra Mauro, but the term Fra Mauro UFO appears to be a query that does not have to be responding match and provided data. Okay. So basically, what they're saying is that they don't want to tell you what's going on. But look at this. Why is it still connected? Why did they write it down? I didn't write it down. They did. I didn't write down UFO Fra Mauro. They did. They want you to know that it really did happen, but they're saying it didn't connect, but it did. Why did they write it down? Think about this, guys. So we've had, I mean, there's so many paintings from the 14th century, 16th century, and they've showed they actually showed, okay, the paintings of UFOs in the sky. Look like giant stars, but they're flying across the sky in a painting, in art. Okay, a lot of artists that did art always showed a UFO. And I also found someone actually did a painting back in the 1460 to 1500. There was an art painting, and it showed a dragon, a picture of a dragon in the sky carrying an elephant. That's considered food. So the dragons did exist back in the 1400s, back in the 1500s. Dragons did really exist. But yet it's not mentioned that people are not wanting to believe this. Okay. So the thing is, guys, now Ernie says, isn't that where Trump has saved children from the earth? Yeah. Like, we've got so much here. Okay. Heidi says, not feeling well. What happened? I'm a sensitive person. I have ringing in my ears from time to time, and doesn't help when I'm going through a lot right now. What's happening, everybody? That energy is shifting. It's not you guys. Anybody who's psychically sensitive, you're going through the shift. You're going through the change. So, and sometimes you can feel sadness. You can feel short-winded. You can feel like as if you feel like having an anxiety attack. You feel like you're down. You feel like you're up. Not to worry. Okay. Just let it go through you. Let it just ease right through you. It's not you. You're not alone. People like you and I are going through I went through it. Okay. But I accepted it because we all have to go through it. Some people are just not used to the transition. Jesse in the chat room says, Terra Infinita, is that something of a possibility or no? I would say possibly, Jesse. I mean, like I said, this fellow Fra Mauro, and here's what I'm going to show you. Okay, let me bring this up. Okay, here's the picture. I didn't show you guys this, but I'm going to show you. One second. See. Uh-oh, come on, you guys, get back here. Stop it, YouTube. Stop it. YouTube's doing it again. They don't like it when I'm talking about my stuff. Stop it. Come on, come back. Thank you. They want to block it. Come on. Hang on. I'm waiting for YouTube to stop doing this. Spin, spin, spin. Come on back, you guys. Stop playing the game. Oh yeah, they're spinning my screen. They're trying to stop it from actually coming up because I'm actually talking about this. They know what I'm talking about, and they're getting nosy. There we go. Bring it back up again. Okay, let's start up again. I'm blocking them so they can't stop me. Okay. Now you will see here, okay, this is the map made by Fra Mauro. This is his map. This is how he saw the world. Who would put that in there? Now, here's the interesting part. Look at the hieroglyphics, folks. Everything in here is in Chinese. Look, these are Chinese symbols. These are from sailors that wrote down the work, and then he just added in after. So there were Chinese shipmen or even on the spaceship as well, and they actually saw this too. Look at this, how the earth has come apart. This was actually also drawn in 1460 because this is their marking. This is their marker. That's the mark. This is the marker that they use. Okay, that's their stamp to say this is who did this. And then this is the mark of the Chinese or Japanese. I think it's either one or the other. Their symbol. I don't speak Japanese. I don't understand it. If anybody knows how to translate that, please do. But this is what we have here. I mean, look at this. Okay, history right there. Anybody understands Italian? There you go, right there. But look at the boundary. What do you see, guys, in the continent? The boundary, all around that area. Okay, what do you see there? So there are map makers that all helped each other out. There was never a war. There was never always wars. People were map makers specifically to show other map makers and other people that are shipping, traveling, living in the world, living their life. This is exactly what turned on. But look at this. This is actually his work. There's two Earths coming apart, guys. Look at this. Separating and separating. Now, here's the one that I have right now. What do you see? Look at same thing. Look at the same. I mean, what I did is I took this very same picture and compared to the one that's actually in the drawing, and they're both the same. Look at the continents, all the same. And that's exactly what they're trying to show you. The Earth has done this before. We are letting go 3 lifetimes, 3 transitions. I remember when Spirit said to me that the Earth went through 3 shifts, 3 transitions. And they said 2 times we screwed it up. The 3rd time we can't screw this up. They have to be done properly. So in this is our last generation to fix the transition for another 1,000 years. So this is what the Earth does. It's almost like it's like a nucleus, or how do you do it? Yeah, like a nucleus. How it separates itself. Okay, one separates from the other. Bink. So you may have twin Earths. One is Earth 1. We're now beginning to start up in Earth 2. This is where we're going through right now. That's our phase. For me. So now you know. And it's important that we all learn this and know this, because I'll tell you why. Because once you understand, I'm going to use the word understand because we're under it. Okay, we're not just understand, but understand. We're under it. Basically, we're learning to come out from under everything, and we're reaching to go to the other side. Okay, so basically, our spirit, our consciousness, everything is transitioning over to the next planet. Okay, to this new planet. We're doing it while we're living. We're not, because after we passed away, we're transitioning through. So we have part of our spirit there and a part of our memory, and the other memory, the new memories come with us to the next place. Now, I'll tell you why. At the same time, we're also going through the Mandela effect. Okay, we're also transitioning to the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect is all to do with this as well, because certain things that may have happened back then that we remember, as we move forward, says it never happened. The people we thought that died came with us, still living, and now they just died. Does that make any sense? Because certain times people had to make a decision of phasing into the next time period. So we're going through what we call a time lapse. LAPSE, time lapse. And that's what we're going through. Every one of us is going through the shift. We're shifting, and we'll go through the shift for the next 30 to 60 days, up until what I understood, what I learned from Spirit, because their Spirit showed me, looks like I always have my pendulum and all that with me. And they said it's going to keep on slowly shifting more to its completion up until November the 5. No, remember the 5th of November. That's when everything begins to say, okay, now we're ready. Now we're going to begin a whole new journey. And it's welcoming. It's a celebration. It's the most important part of our time. Every one of us. Please understand, guys, try not to worry what's going to happen next. We are going to go through a beautiful phase. And it's a huge celebration. And I've talked to so many people about this. And anybody who understands my work, even I'll just put it this way: if I had the late Jordan Maxwell with me right now in my studio, because I've already interviewed, I remember a few years back when Jordan was live, I interviewed him, I don't know how many times, had him on my show. We talked about this sort of thing, and he would agree. Jordan would agree. We were going to go through the transition. And so I decided to do some research. My good friend Johnny Enoch, same thing. He would tell you what his research is. Johnny even agreed for what things I've talked about, because this relates to all of us. Okay. So Venus and Venice are both the same. So there is a man who has been helping. Okay. And his last name is Thor. And he has been helping the UFO NASA to transition, but he doesn't tolerate dark ops, black ops. They can't harm him, because this man, he knows his stuff. He will tell them straight up, you mess with us, you're not going to learn nothing. So he puts them in their place. So Valiant Thor, I would put it past it. Still, I strongly believe that Valiant Thor is still working with our commander-in-chief and many other military people that are part of the space age. And we're going, and also part of the intergalactic programming. So they're all the spearheading, and I will use that word, spearheading, because this is the spear heading of the new change. And 17 is very important. The number 17, spearheading 17. Okay. So we're going to which called the Christ consciousness, the new Christ consciousness and awakening, and it's going to be not just for me or just few psychics. It's going to help. It's here for everybody, everyone. It's not just about me. It's about everybody. You, me, her, him, little ones, tall ones, short ones, older, elders, newborns, everyone, mothers to be, carrying new babies, beginners. All this is going to happen. The fathers to be, children that are actually the new children that are being born now or have been born today. They're so sensitive, and they're telling you the stories. They're not learning from TV. These kids are telling you straight up. They're telling you exactly what's going on. These kids know. They're already pre-programmed before they were born. They're showing you what they already were told and what to see, but they never showed you the ugliness of the world. They showed you the beauty of the world and nothing but unconditional love. And yet we, as become adults, older, we have forgotten what love really is. We've forgotten the unconditional love. We've forgotten to love our neighbor. We forgot to love people no matter who they are. We can't hate them for what they don't understand. Sure, we can go through the shift, the change. People want to change, whatever you want to do, change yourself, whatever have you. That has nothing to do with it. You want to go to war? That has nothing to do with it. All of that's going to stop. It's just a show. It's just a game. It's a head game of who can conquer who. And it doesn't get you nowhere. All it gives you is a freaking ego. That's all it's for. It's just a bloody ego. But you take away that bull crap, that ego, and it's going to bring you down to earth. And these people forgot what it's like to be down to earth. They're so stuck in themselves right now. Oh, I have lost my identity. I don't know what I want. I'm going to paint myself blue and call myself Blue Boy. Right? Or whatever. I don't care. But you're still the same person. You're just going to change it. You want to change your name. Where this is how I look. This is how I want to be. This is my natural growth of my identity of who I've always been. Since I was born, this is me. I'm not going to change me. If I don't want to change me, I'm not going to change me. Okay. I've had people I've had 2 marriages before me want me to change to go their way. It's like, we don't like what you're doing, Derek. We're going to do. No, I'm not changing for you, because that's not me. I don't want to be what they want me to be. My wife, who I have now today, loves who I am. She loves the guy who knows himself inside. That's the person she's looking for. That person that she says, I'm comfortable with you because you are honest with yourself and you are seeing the inner truth. And that's exactly where all of you come in. Every one of you can see your own inner truth. Because every day you wake up in the morning and say, oh man, I can't believe it, how busy I am this year. Okay. So now Heidi says, does everybody make it over to the new earth? Yes, we all go there. Every one of us. Okay. Jesminder says, what is our heading? We're going straight ahead. We're doing well. And he also said, not everyone would belong. Many live estranged completely. You know what? Like I said before, yeah, I miss Art Bell, but there's someone who's just like him, who actually does his own show, who I already know that he could be wearing a mask, and that could be Art Bell. He acts like him, talks like him, except his voice is even deeper. Who do you think that would be, guys? Not George Norrie. No. I'm talking about, there's somebody there who acts like Art, talks like Art, a little slower, but you can tell the voice. And I know what Art's voice was like because I had my own radio show at 1410 C Fund back in 2003. And I know I used to have my own show on before Art came on. And I had my show called Between Two Worlds. And it was a success there. And I did it at the radio station. And when Art came on just before me or after me, so I know Art's voice. I mean, I record a lot of his shows on my recorder. But certain things that I couldn't, if I was too busy doing something, I would just record it and then hit the sack and wake up in the morning. By the time the whole thing is already recorded in my recorder. So I was okay with that. Yes, you're right, Linda. John B. Wells. Think about it. Listen carefully to John B. Wells because he talks and acts like him. Art always has a sense of humor. He has his own way of sense of humor. And I was Art's first wife was best friends with my lady friend. Her name is oh my god, I forget all of a sudden. Oh my god. Blank. Think about her name again all of a sudden. Anyways, I talk about her so much. She actually was the one that I knew quite well. She was she passed away, but she was the grand niece to Nikola Tesla. Okay, great niece Nikola Tesla. So that's how close she was to Tesla. So her name is Ariel Louise. Ariel Louise. Okay. And Ariel insisted that I start getting to do an internet radio back in 2003. That's where she introduced me to the guys, Don and Doug Newsom of another radio show called BBS Radio, based out of Paradise, California. Now Paradise the whole town's gone, burnt down, but their radio show still runs at another location. But Don and Doug has been going on still strong after all these years. That's 21 years of BBS radio. And I joined their station for a few years. So, but Ariel insisted I do internet radio because she said I can reach out to millions of more people because people are getting more into doing internet radio more than just AM, because your AM and FM radio, like say AM radio, reaches around 40 to 60,000 listeners, and that's just the BC region. But if you are doing internet radio, you can reach out to people all over the world. And this was just beginning. The doors were beginning and opening up, and there was a lot of listeners. We have hundreds of thousands of people listening to BBS radio because we were the first to begin the whole internet radio programming, and more people came on board and got bigger and bigger, and look how huge successful that BBS radio has become. Now they do. And I said to Dawn and Dan, I said, Dawn, you should do TV radio. Like, actually people do televised radio programming. Now I was ahead of myself because Art did the same thing. And I learned from Art, and I used to try to do televised internet radio. And it was just beginning then, back in 2005 and 6. We would use a camera on ourselves, but it was the waving of the server was running too slow. So, but now today you can, and now BBS radio now has become BBS television. So it's really not not BBC, but BBS. Okay, people going, was that you? That's you? No, not the UK. No, BBS radio. So you can see BBS TV now. They have their own station where people can be televised. So it's grown. It's doing quite well. Yeah, and so Jasmine says all the trucks come with XM as standard. Yeah, they do. People have Sirius radio. People used to Art before Art passed away. Art was going to make a comeback. Like Art didn't really want to leave Coast to Coast AM, but he got the royal boot. And I'll be honest with you, I was so pissed off. I feel bad for him. He got the royal boot because of the people. Certain things that certain things that people did not agree with in the company. They did not want Art to talk about. Art was deeper into conspiracy stuff than George Norrie, but Art was deeper. He was sharing with real truthful. Oh my God, there were people that were sharing stuff that was the beginning of how that's why Coast to Coast was so good. Over 40 million listeners across the world listened to Art Bell late hours at night till all hours of the morning, because they would play it twice over. Like he would play the first live show and then he'll play it again, that they would play it again one more time until 4 a.m. So everybody got a chance to hear it. Nobody ever forgot. But the thing is that Art knew that it was a success. He knew it was, and he was the only one that became hugely successful. And I guess what happened, George Norrie, I guess they decided to get rid of Art, kill a contract, and they brought in George Norrie. But they told Art that he couldn't do radio anymore. If he actually did radio anymore, that they would sue his ass. And they forced Art to sign something, because Art lost his son. His son committed suicide over some other interview that someone had done that caused this problem. Art really took it really hard and lost his son. But anyways, Art then lost his wife after that, his first wife, and he didn't know where to go from there. She died suddenly. She had a viral infection in her throat suddenly, just gone like that. But I knew then that Art knew he was in trouble, because there's people threatening Art and told him that they would try. Yeah, Ramona, thank you very much. They would find a way to stop Art from what he was doing. And so Ramona, I guess after she passed away, Art was down, and he just says, you know what, I'm gonna step away from radio for a little bit just to recover. And then he went off to Asia to just to get out of town for a little bit to clear his mind. And George Norrie was only supposed to be a part-timer until Art was going to come back. And for some reason, I don't know how that worked out, but Norrie somehow got in there full time and Art was gone. And so Art thought, okay, well, I'll just recover. I'll just I'll get married again, find another lady who's like Ramona. Married her, had a son, or a child, and a daughter. And pardon me, he had a daughter. And then Art wanted to get back into radio. So he had a chat with Sirius Radio, and he was going to get back in. So he got a hold of the guys from Sirius Radio. They was going to do Midnight in the Desert. That was his name, Midnight in the Desert. And it started again. Like he was kicking in. People are coming in and they're like, oh, Art's on. It's Midnight in the Desert. Boom, boom, boom. Well, all of a sudden, there was a phone call. I guess the company itself, Coast to Coast AM, contacted Sirius Radio and said, we're going to sue your ass if you let Art Bell carry on doing radio. And they're saying that Art had no right, that he's taken the copyright of the station out. Well, Art didn't. Art didn't didn't steal the copyright. Art owned the copyright. So when they threatened Sirius Radio backed down and walked away, and Art had nothing. Right? Yes, you're right, Jasmine. Art Bell had many anonymous, deep throat truth tellers come on the show. Yeah, time travelers and such. He was good. He was like, there was. I guess I'll tell you this, guys. You may not know this. Art Bell, his life was threatened. They told him to shut it down, and Art wouldn't quit. Now, Art lived in Prompt, Nevada, and Art carried on to do his radio show. And they got a threat from someone saying, if you don't shut up, you might find some bullets in front of your door. Next thing you know, Art did a couple of nights of radio, and then next thing you know, boom, 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 and there was like gunshots, bullets coming through the front door of his house, and everyone hit the floor. Like not a couple, not 2, 3, 4 bullets. I mean, like right through the front door, and Art was on the floor. Everyone was on the floor, and that was to tell Art to shut her down. They were not kidding. There's somebody there that worked for him. Okay, they worked for these guys that were trying to shut Art down, scare the shit out of him. So Art packed it in. He walked away for a little bit. But Art thought to himself, screw you guys. I'm going back in again. So what he had done, he trained a young lady and got her to start radio herself. He basically worked with her for a little bit. He didn't find her. She was interested and wanted to learn from Art. I won't have to mention her name. But anyway, she wanted to learn, and she was getting good at what she does. She was a good presenter, and I listened to some of her shows. She was getting good at it. Art was proud of her. He was, it's almost like the female version of Art Bell, but she was good at what she did. She was doing really well. And then apparently, supposedly, Art got sick. And supposedly, Art had a flu. And supposedly, Art overdosed of medications. Supposedly. But nothing was said after that. Then, when it was announced that George Norrie heard that Art Bell had passed away, George Norrie literally drama queen, and I will be straight up about this, guys, drama queen on the radio on the show Coast to Coast. Art was the man. He was the man. Da, 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 da. Like he was crying in tears. I miss him. Right. Art said on a recording that George Norrie is nothing but a son of a bitch. He couldn't stand the son of a bitch. And there was no autopsy. You're right. So Art had to say, I'm going to disappear for a while. I'll come back. So there are certain people that Art knew, because don't forget, guys, Art was a veteran. He served in the military. Certain people knew about Art and said, here, we'll keep an eye on you. We'll see what we can do for you. So I strongly feel that I'm hoping in the near future that if Art is not gone, someone's going to make a comeback, and they're going to shock the world all to heck. Because I strongly feel, he was one of the most, I'm not going to say I idolized him, but I admired his courage. I admired his work. I admired, he helped open the doors. Art helped open the veil. He helped open so many things for other people that need to know the truth. And there were so many truth seekers that when there were so many people that he's interviewed, whether it's about Sasquatch, the one guy called in that he's got a Sasquatch in his freezer. Art was asked to come down and have a look at it. Art never told anybody who the person was, but he went down there. They asked him to come down. Art went. Anything to do with anybody's disappearing regarding UFO, Area 51, Area 52, Art met up, whether Art met up with a person or not. Art, he interviewed so many people, and he met some really good people, became really good friends with. And one of the closest friends to Art Bell was who we now have today, is Daniel Brinkley. If it wasn't for Art Bell, Daniel would not be as well known, but I think because he had Daniel on his show for years since 1984, 84, 84, 85, and no, he must say later in the 90s. But Art was by his side. Art was by Daniel's side for 3 or 4 times when Daniel was going through the hardest time of recovering from a heart surgery, brain surgery, near-death experience of hit by lightning. Art was there because they were close buddies, they were best friends. So I know if anybody knows about Art personally, would be Daniel. Anybody knows Art personally will be Jordan Maxwell. Anybody knows Art personally, it's Major Ed Dames. There were so many guys that knew Art that had shared. There was actually Dr. Malachi Martin. Father Malachi Martin was actually on there. Talked about the future, what was going to happen. Before he passed away, he talked about, there was going to be the devil was going to arrive and people are going to try and take over the world or take over the United States. And he predicted this before he passed away, but he warned from the Catholic churches that the diocese was going to be involved. The Pope was going to be involved, creating all this problem. So I strongly feel that Father Malachi Martin knew more and they had to get rid of him. So there's so many things. No, most people won't hear about Major Ed Dames right now. I think he passed away. I think Major Ed Dames passed away. But there again, Art had other people on. And now many times Ariel used to say to me, "Why don't you go on Art Bell's show?" And I said, love to, let Art know. But so she told Art about me, and Art said, "I want no psychics or mediums on the show. I want other people that have other life experiences." Because, and I understand from his point of view, because Art wasn't upset with the psychic medium sense of it, but he was not into always wanting to interview anybody who's in reading the futures. His job was wanting to do more out there world about what's going on, whether it's extraterrestrials, all to do with Sasquatch, all to do with down below, up above, here and there, what's going on in the military, what's going to do, anything to do with the, for example, Philadelphia experiment. So many things that futurists, people that were talking about the future, people that were remote viewers, like he had them on there. This was important. Art had some really interesting people that told the stories that Art believed because Art experienced it himself. He knew what the experience was like because Art himself actually went through some of the experiments. So he understood this. So he interviewed a lot of people that even there were guys who were time travelers. Art was the first. He was the first guy that actually interviewed time travelers. He interviewed about 3 or 4 of them. And I wouldn't put it past it that Art even interviewed John F. Kennedy Jr. I would say after his passing, so-called. Yes, he also had Ghost to Ghost AM doing ghost stories. He loved that. He always had different things, like you're right, Jasmine. Yeah, he interviewed all kinds of people, and he was a phenomenal person to know. So, like I said, I remember watching Art, listening to his work, and I got to know, him, not personally, but I got to know of him through the years. And but Ramona, like I said before, Ariel and Ramona were the ones that I was talking back and forth, and Ramona would say, "Well, let's get Derek in." Even Ramona, sometimes she would try to encourage and say, "Hey, Art, you need to get this guy come in." And I never had a chance because Art, I would have told ghost stories. I would love to tell ghost stories because I'm that kind of person too. But I forgot all about that part. I was focusing on at the time in the 90s, I was focusing on mediumship. I wasn't focusing on paranormal investigations, but I was doing that already. I could have told Art my experiences, some things that I went through and that people, that things that I've done, but I forgot all about that part. So, but I think having to know the young lady that actually I got to meet her personally, that actually was trained by Art, and some people thought she was a flake. She had her hang-ups, but that's her personal stuff before Art. But she was trying her darndest. She just wanted to help, and she was just wanting to impress Art. There was no love affair between them. People said, "Oh, there was a rumor." No, there wasn't. Art just he was a prize. She was a prize student. Art just wanted to make sure that if anything happened to him, that he wanted somebody to carry on for him. It has nothing to do with Nori. He had nothing to do with Nori. He couldn't stand Nori. He couldn't stand Nori. He just called him nothing but a blah, 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 like really negative. Let's put it this way. He said Nori was nothing but a backstabber. And Nori did. He was a backstabber. Yeah, he'll play the game and screw you, So, but one was Army, one was Navy. Think about that guy. One's Army, one's Navy. So Art was part of the Air Force, and I think Nori was Navy, or reverse. I'm not sure. I think so. I can't remember now. So Art, yeah, he made a point of staying alive on Christmas for those who lived strange, and he knew. Yeah. Oh, also he did. He wrote a couple books. Art wrote a couple books. If you want to find some of Art's books, he does have them out there. They're still available somewhere online. Art actually. That's the reason why I'm bringing up Art Bell. He, like I said before earlier, he actually was one of the very first people that when he interviewed this young lady, young man, I think there's two of them, but they actually made this map, what the future is going to look like in the 21st century. And this is the 20th century when Art interviewed them. And the 21st century, they can talk about how the land was dividing up in different areas. And no one really knew it was going to happen or not. It's beginning to happen now, folks. There are lands being broken up as we speak. So that's the future. They showed it already that it was going to happen. And the why I brought this whole story up regarding the parallel Earths and this is called the Tartary map, very similar to what other people have done. Now, look at the mud floods. Okay, if nobody knows what the mud floods are, those mud floods were predictable, and those mud floods happened. I wouldn't put it past that they happened in the 1400s, probably after the time of Fra Mauro, that it all came true. Like all these things began. I strongly feel that we had very huge, large, towering cities before it got downsized. And so, again, like I said before, why would those two maps, one that's drawn out hundreds of years ago, back in the 1400s, why was that map made out that way? And yet we're seeing this already as it is. That means that these two people, or those other people, were on the ships in space that drew it out. And they're shown, here's what's going to happen. Don't forget, folks, Venus, Venus, they're both the same. Okay? Venice, Venus. So this guy was living in Venice, but yet there was Valiant Thor, who was from Venus. So was Tesla. Tesla was also from Venus. And these people lived for 1,000 years. So there's a reason why all these people were involved in time. And then you also got Saint Germain, who also helped assist to show you what's happening in this world. And he is Saint Germain has lived. There's actually pictures of him, drawings of him through the generations of Saint Germain, of this man in the future. Is always his last name is Saint Germain, same person. But there's always different paintings of him growing through the years. And he's always financially stable, but he's always traveled the world and always helped out people or helped the world to become to where it's supposed to be. So that's why and how things, work. And I just find it amazing, absolutely amazing. So we got things that we need to work through. We need to look at how the energy is shifting right now. Like I said, people, if you're starting to feel that like physical, like bzzz, like that shaking, that body, your body, that's not your nervous system. It actually is. It feels like the outside of your skin is like this. It's doing this, like a vibration. If you sit in your chair or just let the earth work itself through, you'll begin to feel the buzz. Sometimes people go through high pitching noises through the ears. I've had high pitching noises, I would say, the last 3-4 days, about 3 or 4 times a day. They would pitch, and it's nothing to do with outside sonic, nothing. No, this is all to do with pitching. Our elemental energy is shifting. We're going through the shift. And anytime you hear a hearing pitch, like it'll go, through the ear, that's normal. We're going through a shift, and it's shifting we're raising. What it's doing is raising the energy vibration higher, so you can become more sensitive, and to feel the energy of people, spirit world, anything around your surroundings. You become more sensitive. You can feel the sound. Like I said to my wife the other night, and this is what I told her. I said, I'm in the house, and I can hear people playing music outside, but not in this park, but across the way in past the bushes in another location. That's how sensitive my ears can hear that far. Why am I supposed to hear that? Because I'm supposed to hear the sounds. And she says, I can't hear it. I said, well, I can. I know exactly what the song they're playing right now. And they're playing music of some sort. Why is my ear so sensitive to hear it? That's exactly, our senses are opening up so sensitive that you can actually hear things happening at a further distance away. I can hear bees flying that are, say, 20 feet away from my house. Why can I hear that? Because I was connected to the bees a long time ago, where my good friend of mine, Shirley Klein Karsh, who actually was doing a UFO talk, because she was doing her little thing, her presentation at a UFO conference here in Surrey. And this is years ago, back in 2000, no, take it back, 40 years, say 23, say 20, oh my God, that long? 28 years ago. She did a presentation, UFO presentation, in Surrey, South Surrey here, and I was asked to come to do it and see it. I didn't know this woman, and I was asked to come to see it, her presentation, because she was a UFO contactee. And I thought, nah, I'm not going to go. And my friend said, no, we'll pay your ticket. We want you to come. It's your birthday. We'll get you to pay your ticket. So they bought my ticket, which is $50 back then. And they were insisting that I had to be there. They already had my seat reserved, the whole 9 yards. Like I was supposed to be right there, second row, right in front of her, second row. So, okay. So I went with them, and there was like 4 or 5 of us. And I went there, and I sat in the second row, and the girls are on that side, women are on that side. And they're talking as they're watching her ready to do a presentation. And as Shirley's talking, and people are sort of somehow gabbing, but in one way listening, but not really. Almost they're making a joke out of what she knows, what she's doing. I don't think they were really believing everything she was saying. But I think what really changed that was when I looked at her and I looked around, and I can suddenly hear bees, like loud, like as if I'm actually inside of a beehive. And I'm sure that would show a story that with you guys before, but I felt like I was in a beehive. Like I could hear the bees, like lots of bees, not one, but a whole bunch of bees. Then it got louder, and then louder, to the point where it was like so loud. I'm going like, where are the bees coming from? Like I thought there was bees there. And all of a sudden everybody stopped in a pause, like nobody moved. I was like this, like if you took your snap, and the whole room went into pause. And I'm looking around like, what the hell? And I'm watching people like, and they're talking, but the talking is like mid pause. They froze. And I'm looking around like, what the hell? Nobody's moving. Like everybody's stopped moving. Like it was quiet. The room was quiet. And I'm going around and looking up, and I look at Shirley on the stage, and she's looking out, and then she looked down at me, and she says, "Are you Derek, White Sky Cloud?" And I said, "Yes." She goes, "Can I see you after my presentation?" And I said, "Sure." And she goes, "Okay." She goes, she clapped her hands like this and unfroze everybody. I'm not kidding you guys. So she told me after she had extra-terrestrial help that they actually froze the room to make sure she was in contact with me, that she needed my help, what she was given many years before I was born, that she was given these 8 cards, look like credit card sizes, but they all had hieroglyphics on them in fine print. And apparently I'm supposed to be the one that's supposed to be deciphering them. So she had to wait until I was old enough to decipher them. So she had to wait for 40 years and then ask me if I can decipher them for her. I said, sure. So I met up with her at her house. We sat down. She had 8 of them, but I only was able to only do 6. So I had to translate through holding them, remote viewing, telling her what they meant, what the story is between each one. She recorded it on a tape recorder. That was it. And from there, for some reason, the people from that planet that they gave her those cards many years ago, they gave them to her. Which she was a passenger in her first husband's car going downtown in Vancouver. This is back in the early 60s. And she says, I need to stop right here. I need to get out. She said, I'll talk to you about a half an hour. I got to go to that store. So she gets out and she walks over to the store. Now it was like a secondhand store is what it was. Secondhand store. She walked right in. And as she's walking in, she's looking around like, okay, why am I here? And this guy behind the counter has back turned to her. He turned around, he looked at her, and he goes, "It's about time you got here, Shirley." Like, she says, "What?" He says, "About time you got here. Come here. I need to talk to you." Now, for some reason, and there was a flat screen TV. Now, this is 1962 or 63. A flat screen TV on the wall. Flat screen TV on the wall behind him. Okay. Huge one. The one you see right now, 80-inch flat screen TV. You don't see them there back then. Never. And he was telling her that she's needed to do this work, where they're from, what planet they're from, and then they need her to help them. And she was chosen. So I'm just making the story a little shorter. So they told her this is what she had to be responsible for, to be the caretaker of these particular cards. So she's carried it ever since, and this is the reason why, each of us has a message. Each of us were given responsibilities in this world to do things to help out up there, not just God, but other people from other planetary systems. We're here to be messengers. Every one of us, we're here to do our job. We're here to show you what's important. This whole thing that I talked to you guys in the beginning, those who actually just coming in the room that do not know what I'm talking about. We're talking about parallel Earths. That Fra Mauro of Venetian, Italy. He was a monk. He actually was a cartographer, which basically he made maps. And the funny thing is he called the world planet. He called it CHOSMOGRAPHUS INCOMPARABILIS, and actually that's actually Italian, means cosmo, and it's all to do with space, because the NASA calls it Cosmo, or space, right? So Cosmos of the space, or NASA was involved. NASA actually took his name back in from the 1460s because he did the map, the world map, in one large world. And I'll show you the large world map first before I forget on that one too. I didn't show you guys this, but this is his world map. This is the one that he had drawn. Okay, and I'll bring it here. This is his world map he had drawn. But if you look at this world map, I'm going to look at this guy in here. You tell me how long it took him. I mean, look at the writings. I mean, look here. Okay. Anybody who understands Italian would know what this means, but look at her here, 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 and here. Okay. If I knew Italian, I would know exactly what it means, but some of you can have a look yourselves. But he shows you this is his work, all in Italian. And probably some of it could be in Latin as well. Oops. Wasn't supposed to be there. Gee, I wonder why he showed up. I didn't do that. It did. So let's get closer. But this is, I mean, look how the oceans, O-C-A-N with the V-S, not U-S. V, oceans, right? And there's a star. What does that star mean to you guys? Okay. There's symbolisms that we don't understand or understand that people don't even know. But look what he's bringing up here. Guess what that is, guys? Gee, I wonder what that is. That is the star ship going down and picking up. These are people. These are people coming to pick them up. Whatever that job is, he's telling you the story. See? But they're not going to give you everything. See all four corners of the world. And then here, I mean, look at some of these towns don't. There's Africa right in here. But it's not called Ethiopia. It's called Aeopia. A-E-I-Y. Not Ethiopia. It's Ethiopia. So the words have been changed. They've been bastardized by the Europeans, by the British. Okay. Saramantia. You don't see these areas called that anymore. Look at these supposedly castles. I mean, the ocean waters outside the perimeters. Lots of castles. Okay, this is what they called. There are apparently a lot of royalty in different parts of the world. There are a lot of churches. You can see the cross on that one. That's a church. And also, you guys may not realize the crosses were not meant for church services. These crosses back in the 1460s were electronic. They were actually they're called cathedrals, not cathedrals, cathedrals. That means like it looked like a spark plug. They were energy centers for electricity, free energy. Why would they be shaped like spark plugs? Okay, look at here. Shaped like a spark plug. One here, and one there. We've already had free energy a long time ago. This looks like a large ship, as in military ship. I mean huge. Really huge. Like made of metal. But no one's going to pay attention to that, are they? Occupants. Now, this one here, they call the Japanese junk or the Japanese ships because the canvas was more curved. You find lots of those. So he worked with the Japanese a lot, apparently. They worked with them. But again, some of these pieces, I mean, right down here, look at the lobster. You can see a lobster claw right down there. Shows a lobster claw. Gee, I wonder how large that lobster was. Are they giant lobsters or small lobsters? If you look at this map carefully, if you go down there, you'll find it. Okay, Svetla or Svetia. Okay, now we're close to, I think, Russia or the European country. And it was called Europia, not European, Europia. And also there was a queen named Europia, and she was black. She was African American. Her name was Europa, and the name got slangily changed by the British military and called it European. See, Europa. It was never, and that was because it belonged to a black African queen. That's what it was called, Europa, not European. That was the name of the whole continent of Africa. Permia. Oops, go back here again. Let's see here. Let's kill this and bring it back again. Okay. Then this one here, Troyon. Look at that, guys. St. Michael at Murano, made by Fra Mauro. Okay. And this one here, AD 1459, the copy was taken by William Fraser in 1804. That means that these folks can possibly change his maps. So this may not be precise because people were known to change certain types of maps because the way he would have drawn that, and why was, like, why is this perimeter look smudgy? Okay, maybe there was something there that we don't know about. Look at the canals. Let's see how these looked. Look at here. Look at that one right there. Those are cathedrals right there. That's energy centers, folks. See, Sepultura Imperial. If you break it down and look under what it means, Sepultura, you would know. So I find it very interesting that this, yeah, that map is impossible. The oceans are too small. That's right. That's right. They're making it where he calls it the world map, but this is basically giving you an idea. Whoever the people are that changed it, I know they've changed some of his work. I can tell certain things could have been smudged out, but a lot of people really didn't understand the meaning of it either. So they're going to go by what. And you guys remember Rubica? Do you guys remember the Rubik's Cube? Rubica. Look at this. Rubik's Cube. Rubica. What does it mean? Rubica. So, and again, how is it that this is covered and they're showing you here? Certain things were, I strongly feel, were changed a little bit. They're making it where what they're allowed to put in, what they had to take out or wanted to take out. There's your India, but they didn't call it India. It's Indiasin, C-I-N. It wasn't India. It was Indiasin or Indian. So there's your real India, 1460. Look at the shape of these buildings. Have a curve, regno, lima. So there's one of the Japanese ships, but what's on top of that one? Crow's nest. Salam. Saylam. Or some people say Siam, but Salam. The wording has been changed a lot. But see, the Italians are known to change the U to a V. Mere Indicum. So I would recommend to go online to find the map, have a look through, do your research, check it out. It's worth your while. You have a better understanding of what it can do for you, to understand why that map was made, because most people don't realize that it's important to know of that map. Okay. And because it gives us a better understanding of what life was like back in the 1460s. I mean, you can talk about, whatever his name, Columbus, 1492, had nothing to do with what this one is. Nothing to do. So, but I guess again, we have gone under so much of this, and but if you do the research, this is going to help us understand that we've got so much things to see. Look forward to it. And the reason why I talked about this, because it indicates that the date of August 26th, 1460, in the Zodiac, okay, at the time was Leo the Lion. Leo the Lion, okay, Lion. We have now begun the Lion's Gate portal for August the 8th to the 12th, 2024. So do you guys see the connection? Okay. Why did he come up? What is it with the worlds that are twinned? And yet suddenly that was brought to my attention. Why does spirit get brought to my attention? Because this all relates to this. The lion is important. So I would recommend you guys to do this. Anybody who is a Leo in your zodiac, you're going to have one heck of a good year this year. Anybody who's an Aquarian this year, you're going to have a great freaking year. Okay. Because it's the year of Aquarius. And it's all called the dawning of Aquarius. It's important that we understood that this is going to be helping everybody, not just one person, but everybody. Those 3 8s, 888, is actually very important for all of us. The 3 8s have a meaning. Under 3 8s, under the angels meaning, look it up. It's worth your while. Look up the meaning of the Zodiac of Leo. Also look under the meaning of the lion, what the meaning of the lion means to you, because the lion has a purpose, whether it's a female lion or a male lion. Now, a lot of the South Asian people of Asian, follow the lion's following. Okay, that's their spirit animal, their family animal. Okay, that's their procession of it. So when the reason why they follow the lion, because to them means it's like there's some people follow the cobra, some people follow the lion, women will follow the lioness. And other people follow the kitty cat or the wolf or the bear, you name it, whichever animal's with you. But the lion is prominent. Me, I've got a lion. Okay. That's my lion, and with a blue topaz. But I'm not a Leo, but I was attracted to this and I had to have it for some reason. This has been with me all my life, but I had to have it. Never realized it. Anytime we have something that's brought to our path, we're attracted to it. Why we're drawn to it? Because an energy is saying, here, you need to have this. This is going to protect you, or this is going to give you support. Any crystals and stones, rocks, stones, crystals, or things, they're going to help you. They're going to show you have a purpose for it. Anybody that may not realize, rock stones and crystals. Right now, it's a good time to learn about the earth more, learn about your water, learn about your air, learn about the stars and the sun. Just recently, yesterday actually, I was watching a video that this guy was talking about sunflowers. Now, why would he bring up sunflowers? And why sunflowers all of a sudden they're so important? Well, because you may not know, when you look at a sunflower, the flower itself, when it faces you, okay, you see the beautiful plant sunflower. They say, why they call it the sunflower? Because the plant itself will turn towards the sun to make it grow. That's why they call it a sunflower. Yesterday, when I saw his video, the sun was behind him and the flower was faced away from the sun. And he said that is not the real natural sun. The flower knew that. The sunflower knew that, and it pointed itself away from the sun until what the man had done was turn to the opposite direction of the other side of the sky, and there was another sun. And that's where the sun, that's the sunflower was facing that direction behind the clouds, because the sun, the brightness of the edge of the sunlight was the real true sunlight was behind those clouds, but yet there was a fake one on the opposite side, and that was totally ignored. So there are fake suns in the sky. Okay. And yet they talked about, I'm not kidding you guys, they talked about the Lion's Gate portal that you're going to come across. You will see 2 suns, 2 moons. It's already started. Okay. The video came out. It's on TikTok. Look for it. Say sunflower, sun, and you'll see the story. Look it up. It's worth your while to check. Okay. Anything else? I would say, I think we're doing pretty good here. If you guys have any questions, map is impossible. Oceans are too small. Yeah, you're saying that. Yeah. Okay. What else we got here? No, Jasmine, you don't want life to be a punishment. It's not a punishment. We're not here for punishment. We're here to learn and to excel, like really to live our life and have a great life, not to feel like we're lost. And this is where most people make the mistake. We're thinking that's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. We're transitioning, we're shifting, we're changing. It is time, but we're going to have the best time of our lives. I'm telling you guys, nobody's dying here. Where I'm talking best time is because you may right now those who've been following me for a long time in the last 4 years since the big C. Okay. And I've been following it, working with it. Even before that, but our commander-in-chief is trying to let you guys get to open your eyes to see the truth that they're taking care of everything here, but we can't always depend just them alone. We also have to make efforts for ourselves to make sure that we are feeling comfortable and safe with our own future. And that if we need guidance, they're going to give you some guidance, going to show you what you need to do, prepare. Not the end of the world. It's the beginning of everything. Yes, and Linda, that ice wall will come down soon, because the ice wall was placed there by the elites for generations, but that's going to be coming down soon, where basically because part of that ice wall, there is another prison, another version of a Gitmo prison is behind that ice wall, by the way. So there's hundreds of thousands of prisoners that are there that were bad. Then, so again, a lot of this is going to shift. We're going to do better. We're going to be a lot happier. But again, the game is on a little bit more. We just got to go along with it a little bit. But still, you have to understand one thing. Don't let the media hold you back and make you feel that you're worthless. You're not. You are worthy. Okay. Heidi says, why is this map so different? I have seen other ones like that, but they are different too. And why do they show Earth maps today differently? They just don't want us to know the truth. Exactly, Heidi. The true Earth, you may not realize, I'm going to share this with you guys, our Earth is bigger than you think. It's not as small. Most people think, oh, well, Earth is this, and this. It's bigger than you think. We are bigger islands, bigger parts of the world. Canada, United States is bigger than you think. Okay. England is a real speck. No disrespect to the country, but it was a speck of an island. But thousands of years ago, it was bigger. But what happened? It had a flood and it sank, or the waters rose, one of the two, and it went down. And so people were going through the same thing there. England is supposed to go, that it's supposed to be get wiped out. No, I don't see that. I don't get England wiping out. That was the past, but never got wiped out. It got washed out to get rid of some bad people, but it also it began new beginnings. They got rid of all the bad people. Okay. They got rid of all the really nasty ones. The nasty ones are gone. Okay. So now it's the celebration of the new beginning of all things. So it's not the sinking of the Titanic, so to speak. It is London Bridge is falling down. What they're saying is that's the song. London Bridge means the London royal family is no longer in existence. Period. Gone. That's London Bridge falling down. It means that the queen is gone. The king is gone. There's never was a king. The queen is gone. She's done. Off, gone, right? So what we have now is we're able to learn to be leaders ourselves, to be in full control of our path that we take. It's a bigger world. Exactly. There was a lot of self-serving ego, but not anymore. That they're all gone. Pretty well, you probably got some leftovers, but not as bad. The cleanup will happen very, very soon. We're going to have, we're still having cleanups. We're still having military going in there and clean the mess. There were quite a few underground tunnels been around for hundreds of years, hundreds of thousands of years. So they're cleaning out, and they're busy underground while we're on top. If you start seeing floods, it's because there's people hiding under the ground and they've had to flood it out to get rid of those bad guys. So it has nothing to do with just because the transition of the world is shifting. It's because they had to do that to get rid of all the baddies. Okay. If there's fires, they had to get rid of all the baddies. Okay. There's always a reason why. When Jasper National Park had a fire, because there's certain areas under that area was an underground city under Jasper, and they had to blow it up. And they had to burn that area down to get rid of all the baddies down below. Nobody realized that it was an underground city under Jasper, just like Calgary, like Edmonton, like other Vancouver, Surrey, some of the cities. Yeah, we had underground cities everywhere, underground tunnels everywhere. So that got cleaned up, and some got caved in. A lot got caved in all over, all across Canada, United States, across the world, Europe, you name it. Done, gone, bye bye. Right? Anybody, and if people are worried about Luana, Hawaii, the children, there was over 1,000 kids that went missing. They didn't die. They didn't perish. They're actually rescued by the military. They're taken care of. They'll be returning home. The parents are notified already. If some did not get notified, not to worry. The kids are coming home. So we just have to be patient. Right? That's the way it works. I can't speak for others, but I will say what I understood, what I learned from people, my resource, my intel. I can tell you that things will work itself okay. We just have to be patient and to let God take care of it, and we take care of each other. That's all I can say. So I think we did well this evening, but if you guys have any more questions, please, you can always email me, or you can actually text me, whiteskycloud@yahoo.com, or not Yahoo, spiritchaser1@gmail.com. It's spiritchaser1@gmail.com. You can always email me there, or I'm on Telegram. I have a page called True North Strong and Free. I've also got, it's in capital letters, True North Strong and Free. Join up. It's worth your while. You must download the app book, because there'll be a time that we're going to have a lockdown one day. One more lockdown is going to happen one more time, just for a brief time. But that's the only website you'll be able to contact each other, be in communication with each other. So I recommend, are you going to be forced rezoning? No. We're just stay where you are. If you're happy where you are, don't have to worry about anything. Just go along with the crap. But here's the thing. Here's my word of advice. If they decide to do 15-minute cities, okay, and they're starting playing the game, don't follow what they want you to do. Don't go with it. That's bullcrap. They're going to try their darndest to make you feel it not worthy. That's all I can say. Okay. You don't have to do what they tell you. Not whatsoever. They're going to play the game, and just don't go along with it. Stand up. When's it lockdown? The reason why they're trying to do a lockdown is the reason why they're trying to use the M, the big M right now, where we look like monkeys. They want to do the snake bites again. Don't. That actually, what's in the snake bite is going to give you, that, and don't comply. Don't comply to any of that, because they're trying to see if they can put a big, huge scare in you, and it's not worthy of the big scare. Don't follow through with that, because it's a game, and they're showing you old photographs of people from Africa of these bumps over their body, of their faces, and that is not from that. A lady friend of mine has something similar on her face, and that's not MP. That is actually a skin disorder. Okay, has nothing to do with what that is. They're just trying to get you scared to say, here's what it's gonna look like if you get this. No, it's a skin disorder. There's a certain thing that some women have, and it happens to everybody. That's all it is. And but we just have to be patient. I tell people this: start collecting all your cash as much as you can, set it aside, keep it in your home, hide it away, try to collect as much food as you can for the next, I would say, the next 3 to 6 months at the max, because after that you won't have to worry about. And the reason why they're trying to do the lockdown, because the military has to come out one more time to pick up the remaining of the PE dose. Okay, PE dose. And once they're gone, and when we do have martial law, when the military do show up, just be patient. If they tell you to go to your house, stay at your house. And if you want to go shopping, they'll let you know when. Go shopping. But they're trying to play. It's just that the game, the elites are trying to play the game of food shortage, the whole 9 yards. And they're trying to use so many scare tactics. Oh, your food is poison. It's got nanobites here. It's got nanobites there. It's got nanobites in here. We're going to nanobite the sky. No. Our commander-in-chief's in control. Nobody's going to get nanobitten. That's just a scare tactic to the bad ones that are trying to scare us. So don't fall for it. Okay. Religion's facing lawfare. Finally, they broke families. Anybody who's ever trying to do harm to families through certain types of religions that have harmed children, they're going to go bye-bye. One-way trip to a prison, and that's not coming home. Let's see. Jasminder says Costco blueberries, 14 pounds, farmer, $3.50 a pound. Wow. Okay. I got blueberries backyard. Didn't cost me nothing. Yes. Please, folks, go find your Facebook farmers. Anybody who's a farmer, buy your food from them. They need your support. There's actually out here outside of South Surrey, there are farmers on Thursdays or Fridays here in the Surrey region, and you probably will have in other provinces. They actually give you free food, free vegetables, free. There's nothing wrong with them. They just have an overabundance of vegetables that the stores won't take. And the farmers would rather you have them. If they can't sell them, come and get them. There's potatoes. There's varieties of vegetables of everything. I'm not kidding you. They're not sprayed. They're actually pure, absolutely organic. They're just saying, come and get them. Boxes and boxes and boxes and bins and bins and bins. Okay. So I'm going to be tomorrow night. I will be, as of this Friday, it'll be mediumship night. I'm going to be at the First United Spiritualist Church, called the First United Spiritualist Church off of Kincaid and Canada Way. And I'll be there doing mediumship message night. So I'll be there at 7:30 to 9:30. I'll be there to do readings. So I'll be on the platform giving you guys readings. So if you guys are interested in coming down, I will be there. Yep, I'm on the platform giving people mediumship messages from loved ones, family, you name it. So you're more welcome to come down. Please join me. Please like and share this whole thing. If you guys are on YouTube, please like and share. When I do my other show, I would have another website called Rumble, and when I do save and record this program, I put it on Rumble as well. When you do get a chance to, if you do see it again, go to my Rumble page and like and share that too. It's like click, click, click. Like, you know, if you like the finger, make it go fingers up as you like it. So then everybody knows that you've actually seen it. I get a lot of likes. So Jasmine says that church needed new life badly. Yeah, when I go in there, I just wake it up. I lost a good friend, Richard Hansen. He used to read Viking Bones. He was a really nice guy. I've known the guy for many, many years. Had passed away about a month ago now. And Richard Hansen was his name. A good friend. I've known him for a long, long time. And he passed away suddenly. And I know why he passed away suddenly. Like, okay. So yeah, feel bad for people like that got caught up in it. Anyways, Heidi says, when are you back in Abbotsford or near this area? I will be doing a Abbotsford. Is it Abbotsford? Chilliwack. I'll be doing a Chilliwack Chilliwack Christmas Craft Fair in December, the beginning of December. I'll be there doing a Christmas craft fair at the big, huge Heritage Barn, that big one there in December. Abbotsford, where am I going to be in Abbotsford? I'm not sure. The next couple of weeks, it's going to be really busy for me everywhere. I'm accumulating all my new work. I'm creating some new stuff already. Weed Feast, like this past Saturday, it was busy for me. Holy crap. Like I said before, at the very beginning of the show, we did the pagan festival in Vancouver, and my wife and I, we had our booth all set up. You'll see it on my page on Facebook. It was the best ever. And I was so overjoyed to see my grandkids there, my granddaughter and her husband. Big shout out to my granddaughter, Eclipse, and her man, Jonathan. This man's from Mexico. Both of them are fantastic artists. Oh, okay. These guys can paint art. Oh, this guy, phenomenal kids. She just got married last Christmas, so they're newlyweds, and it was wonderful to see them there. We had a great time. What else is there? Yeah. So now Jasmine says, before FUSC pastor died, he told me to keep pedaling. I didn't listen. I forgot his name. Pastor died. He told me to keep pedaling. Pedaling what? There were about, say, good maybe a half dozen pastors that passed away from the FUSC, more than that. So yeah, I'm still doing my thing. I'm a crafter. So, or your bicycle. Keep bicycling, man. It's good for you. It's very healthy. I should be on my bicycle. I gave up my bicycle 20 years ago. Yeah. What else is there? Trying to think of, like, yeah. So if you guys also find me, like I said before, on, like, follow me on so many things, Rumble page. So yeah, you can gain weight, lose weight. I'm losing my weight. I'm taking care of myself more. I went as high as when this whole big thing was, a big C was happening. I was putting the weight on because my wife had cancer, and she had blood cancer, which is leukemia. And I focused mostly on her, and I forgot about myself. And then I realized after I was getting sick. Well, not sick, but I was getting to the point that I was having stomach issues. And I realized after it was me. So I started taking care of myself more. And I thought, okay, now I need to take care of me. So I took care of me now. And I'm healthy as all can be. I'm getting healthier and healthier and better. I was getting better, and then I get hit by a Tesla in a parking lot. Yeah, right from behind. Boom, knocked me over when the guy was racing to go to the charging station and knocked me over. Yeah, I was carrying my groceries, and he parked his car, gets out, and yelling and screaming at me like it's my fault that I was in his way. How can I be in his way when he actually speeded through and didn't honk the horn? He just hit me, and you can't hear the Tesla. You can't hear hardly anything. All you hear is hum, 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 hum. But you hear a lot of cars go starting up. You're used to it. I didn't know he clipped me, and he never honked the horn, say you're in my way, or did it, Derek, I'm right behind you. No, he didn't say that. No, boom, knocked me right over, groceries and all. So he dislocated my freaking hip. So I got up, struggled up off the ground, and I gave him shit. And I said, that's hit and run. You had no right to clip me. You could have waited till I was done. And this is not a speedway. This is a parking lot. And but he was in a hurry to go to the charging station. And he yelled and screamed, pointed his finger at me. He said to me, if I ever reported it, then I would regret it. You don't say that to me. So I went into the building, and I contacted the people that own the building, manager, whatever, told them what happened. And I was hurting. I still have my shopping cart to come bring it back. I can only use my shopping cart to walk in because I couldn't stand up because it was hurting so much. So the shopping cart was my support. And I came back in the building. I told them what happened. They have it on film. They got his license plate. So they're going after him. And I said, I want to report a hit and run. The police came down, took his license plate, took care of him there. He says, we'll just take care of him here. That's all I had to deal with. So Teslas are no longer allowed to speed through a parking lot. You have to abide by the rules like everybody else. And or I guess to say anybody who does any more hit and runs are going to lose their Tesla, because it's actually illegal. It's considered with intent. It's like using a weapon on somebody who can kill them. So Eva says, I used to gain weight 12 years ago when 3 of my family passed away. Now not lose weight, and I get MS, fibromyalgia, etc. That's an energy. A lot of your energy shifting. I can hardly wait for the med beds to show up when they're ready to come out. They're here, but we just have to be. When they're ready to come out, and you get Eva, you have an opportunity to use the med bed. It can be there for you free. You just register, you go in for free, and they'll work on you, get your body back in order. Like myself, I'm waiting for the med bed. I mean, I got my chiropractor, but you only do so much. I'm still running around. I got a leg brace now around my thigh that tightens it up so I don't feel the pain in my hip. I have to wear it. So I didn't have that problem before. So, but when you're turning 69, you just got to keep on going. And I'm taking collagen to help my strength of my hip. So it actually has helped a lot heal my bones. But I've been doing it for the last 3-4 years, which helps a whole lot. I think because if I didn't have bone density, if I had poor bone density, then I'd be probably having hip surgery. But because I'm using collagen, it does help a lot. So I put it in my coffee, and it works quite well. Very healthy. Jasmine says, I have terrible grief or abandonment, so self-care takes a hit. Yeah. You know what? I would say for you, Jazz, is to start not just working on yourself, but when you start working with other people and doing healing work with them, it actually helps you. Like in return, what you're giving to them comes back to you in a very good fold. So that helps. That'll help a lot. Yeah. They're not going to cost you nothing, Heidi. Med beds they'll not be costing anything. Med beds will be for free. So that's guaranteed. It's not going to cost you a dime. You're going to see people talking about, you got to pay X amount of dollars. No, you don't. That's fake med beds. They're not the real ones. The real ones that come out, the military, the ones that be running it. The med beds will be run by the military, and all of the doctors and the nurses will be retrained out of all the hospitals. The hospitals would become healing centers. They will no longer call hospitals anymore. They would actually call them healing centers. You'll hear about the reassignments of the hospital's new name. That'll be into 2025. And once that happens, you'll see the big difference. But it will start to come through for all of us. We just have to be patient, absolutely patient. But they're going to be working with the all the children and the elders first. So they want us here longer living life, not short life. So, when you use that number is 69 coming up, me, I'll be coming 69 in October, but when you're using your age is not how old you have to be. It's just an age that you're born with, or that's the age you're living this long. I lived for 69 years. Doesn't mean 69 years is limited. Our age limit normally is 300 years. So it's going to be where one of these four med beds does excel your age. So you'll be able to reduce your age and also look younger again. It does all the work. This is actually a true system that was used thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago by extraterrestrial beings that were just like us. We are reason why it's taken so long for us not to use them, or how come they're not coming out, or how come they weren't coming out back then, because it was all controlled by the bad guys, and they're the ones that were controlling it. Why do you think Hollywood looks so young? Okay, because some of them are getting treatments, and some are getting treatments with baby's blood. So all that's changed too. So anything is we're going to do natural healing. And actually, in fact, Danny and Brinkley even predicted back in 1984 in one of his books, Saved by the Light. Danny himself actually predicted, saying we're going to actually be using these lights, these healing beds with lights on them. They're called med beds. They're helping to heal. He foresaw that in the future back in 1984. So that will be coming too. Okay, Linda says K2D3 is in one small pill will help with bone strength as well. Yeah. Linda actually knows herself that she was asking about her health. And I'm just not going to say anything to expose her or anything, but she asked about her health too. And I told her to do this, this, and this, and she's getting a lot better, hugely improved. Okay. Linda says, Earth flat or just our part flat, but part of the larger sphere. We are not in a flat Earth. We're better than that. So anybody wants to live on flat Earth, it's up to you. You want to be flat-footed? That's up to you. I'm round-footed. Everything comes in a circle, not in flat. Okay, the ear ringing is like a tuning fork in the key of C frequency. New neutrons are growing and connecting to the brain for the Great Awakening. Catherine, you're bang on. You're bang on. Our family members of Sasquatch began coming through a year ago, and I was telling others that they were communicating with us that could hear their language and frequency. Communication is key. It's true. Absolutely. Yeah. You're doing fine. You guys are doing fantastic. Would it heal the cancer scars I had years ago? Yes. Yes. There is going to be, you won't see the scar tissue anymore. That'll all be gone. Anytime, say for example, some people actually lost leg, arm, limb, hair, teeth, all that will regrow back. You'll have full set of brand new teeth. Our body has a way of tendency regrowing back everything. If you want to, it's like a lizard. You'll get your arm back, you get your leg back. Anybody's lost anything, tailbone, breast, all your breast implants will be gone. Natural breast growth, if you want to have, girls want to have being larger, whatever they want to do smaller is up to them. Hair color, facial features, skin tone, whichever you prefer. If you don't want no more acne, gone. So this is all going to be taken care of. Yeah. So this is going to be, I'm so looking forward to it. Yeah. So, because my wife has major physical surgical scars on her. I've got some surgical scars on my back from some surgery too, from years back in the 90s. Been there, done that, got it. We got some scars. We all got scars. Even inside we got scars, and our heart got scars. But we got to keep on going on. So, okay, guys. Like I said before, tomorrow night I will be doing a mediumship message at the First United Spiritualist Church. So, Message with Spirit. I'll be there at 7:30 to do the the mediumship messages. If you guys are in the region, come in. It's actually part of Vancouver, off Canada Way and Kincaid. Go on to the website, look it up. First United Spiritualist Church, or go to my page on Facebook. You'll see it. I will be there doing mediumship presentation. Worth your while coming down. Fill the church, guys. We're not doing a church service. We're doing mediumship messages. So, fill the church. I missed all that because I used to do. I would say when I was asked to come down to Winnipeg, I did it, and I did mediumship message in Winnipeg for 2 weeks on each Sunday. One was Saturday, one was Sunday. And the first week I was there was 175 people in the room. I filled this. It wasn't not even a church; it was a building. 175 people came in, did message on this platform then, and then they asked me if I can come back again the next week. And because I was there for 18 days, so I came back the next week and there was 225 to 30 people, and packed the church even more. Like they're standing room only, not church, standing room only in this building. I think it's a small little lodge, but people were just lining up to come and see me. So, but I haven't seen that many people in a long, long time. And I would like to bring back the crowds again, not just for myself, but a lot of other great mediums down here. We have some really gifted people that, I want to bring it back where, many of us are out there. And so, yeah. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for being part of the program. And Linda says, thank you, Derek, for a great informative show. First time I have learned of this, helps make sense of other information. Another piece of the puzzles. Exactly. We have so many puzzles. I feel puzzled. I'm not puzzled anymore, but we always have a puzzle to play with, right? You guys can put a complete puzzle together, but there's always one piece that could be missing in that puzzle. But you know what? Don't worry. You'll always fill the space. Right? So anyways, thank you guys for being part of the program. Please like and share me around everywhere. And as much if you don't have Telegram, download the app. Find me on the True North Strong and Free page. You can find me, Derek White Sky Cloud, and join up. You learn and get a part and become part of my group, and you'll get more informative information. What's really going on all across the world, like in this region, BC, you name it. I'm part of it. I'm all over the place. Love working with people all over, and if I do see you guys anywhere else, like if I'm doing any shows, get your butt down there. I like to see you guys. I know your names, but I'd like to see like-minded faces. There was one lady came to see me on Saturday when we did the festival, and I haven't seen her for 30 years, and she showed up. And she goes, Derek, I saw your thing on Facebook, and I thought I'd come down. 30 years ago, I saw her, and suddenly just now she showed up there, and she come to see me. We spent, a good hour talking to each other. Long time no see. This woman was 87 years old, but she was 87 years old, 87 years young. And she was determined to find me. She goes, I need to talk to you because you got me this place and you said this and you said that. And I loved your message and I'm still doing it. 30 years ago, I gave her messages and she's still doing so well. 87. I thought, yes, good for her. So, and I thought I was getting older. She was looking great. Fantastic woman. She's lost her husband 5 years ago. And she says, but ever since her husband passed away, she's not stopping. Like most people, when they have a partner that leaves this world early before them, they just don't have the will to live. And I tell them, don't quit. Keep going. You have a job to do. You need to be the messenger for your kids, grandkids. You need to tell them your stories. Tell them what's going on across the world. They need to know what's going on. They need to know about your story, the things you've done when you were a kid growing up. Because if you don't tell them, how will they know anything about you? Because most kids will say, I didn't know much about grandpa, didn't know much about grandma. They didn't say much. Don't keep the things secrets, guys. Open those doors. Tell the kids. Whether you think it's embarrassing or think it's embarrassing as well or not, don't worry about it. Just tell them. Because they want to remember what the things you used to say that may remind them something that maybe they once will do one day in their life, and they want to take a chance and just to say, well, we'll see what happens. But nothing's ever a mistake. Everything in this room is a learning lesson in life. Okay, so guys, thank you guys for being part of this program, and I'll talk to you guys next week. In the meantime, in between time, another edition of the Shadow Chasing Show. Peace be out, guys. God be with you all. Take care.
Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is the war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one tide, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time for the stop time? Isn't it time mother stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. Alright, make peace, peace together. Peace.